Well, so here's the day a lot of you guys were probably waiting for, or not waiting for, depending on how you felt about Rainbow Six Extraction. So basically, an Extraction player went to the Ubisoft Discord to report a bug that happened to them whilst playing Rainbow Six Extraction, and they actually got this reply, basically saying that development for Rainbow Six Extraction concluded months ago, but they will continue to support it with bug fixes for major issues. And to get this verified, someone else actually reached out to another Ubisoft support agent where they also confirmed this as well. And so basically, in other words, Rainbow Six Extraction is over. They're not making any more content, no new maps, no new operators, no new guns, nothing. Now, I've said on multiple occasions, I really enjoy Rainbow Six Extraction. I was looking forward to the future of this game and what content they were going to give us. However, it just seems like it's not beneficial for Ubisoft to continue support on this game. It's almost like releasing a PvP mode of an already existing game as a separate full-price standalone title isn't the best idea. I always said that I've enjoyed Rainbow Six Extraction's gameplay. I thought it was really fun. It was deceivingly hard, and I loved playing it. But I've said since the start, since it was announced that this game was set up for failure, the lack of cross progression between Rainbow Six Siege makes zero sense. If this game was purely just an addition to the Rainbow Six Siege title itself, it would have done so much better. You would have had better progression between skins, you could have had a battle pass system between both of them. There could have been exclusive skins available in the extraction mode, and when you unlock them, you can use them in the siege mode as well, and vice versa. But to be honest, that made too much sense. They just wanted to cash in on the Rainbow Six name, which Siege had helped build for the past few years to become the Goliath that it is now. It's kind of not hard to see this as a cash grab. We got 2 new operators and no new maps. That was it. Surely if you were planning this as a live service game that was going to go on for years, there would have already been a new map out by now. It kind of seems like they just didn't even give it enough time to even develop it itself before they jumped the ship. And listen, I'll defend a lot of the choices that Ubisoft make about Siege, but when it comes to this is entirely their fault. It was poorly marketed from the start. It shouldn't have been a standalone title. You already gave a bad taste in its mouth when you gave content creators early access and put it on the easiest mode, therefore everyone found it boring, because let's be honest, the easiest mode is boring. And it didn't help that this game was fully priced when people seen it as a glorified DLC, which to an extent it is. It's built off an old build of Rainbow Six Siege. Outbreak was such a success because 1, it was free to play, 2, it came with a bunch of really cool cosmetics which people desired, and 3, it was genuinely fun. But the reason why so many people gave it a try is because it was right there on their home screen. You didn't have to buy another $60 game. It was a little tab at the bottom right saying play Outbreak, and you could queue and play Outbreak for free. You had all your same skins, operators, and everything. And so to take Outbreak and build upon it is really interesting, and I'm glad they done it. I like Rainbow Six Extraction as a game, but it shouldn't be its own game. It works well as a secondary mode, which it was in Rainbow Six Siege for a limited time. Not everything needs to be a standalone title, but I guess they were just desperate to get a new Rainbow Six game out, and it was Extraction. I'm sorry Ubisoft, but the answer's been in front of you the whole time. Make a single player campaign game with a proper lore and story mode which is linked to Siege. That itself warrants a standalone title because it can be more in depth, it can play completely different to Siege, but it can have the same characters and lore behind it. When you're playing Extraction, and it's very clear that you're playing a build of Rainbow Six Siege, it warrants the question, why am I not playing this in Rainbow Six Siege? And before the people are saying, well, gadgets have been tweaked in Extraction, the operators look different a little bit, there's different lighting, the enemies act different than AI in Siege does. And although I'm not a game developer and I can't answer how hard this is, they already proven that they can do that in Rainbow Six Siege with the Outbreak event. It's really hard to defend Extraction being a standalone title when Outbreak existed. People were really interested in a PvE mode for Rainbow Six Siege for such a long time, and for them to only give us it for a few weeks at the most temporarily was bad to say the least. And then making us wait 3 years and spend $60 to play an enhanced version of Outbreak. To the devs that made Rainbow Six Extraction, thank you. I enjoy your game very much. I think it's really fun, and it took the mechanics from Rainbow Six Siege and put them in a really fun PvE aspect. In my opinion, I found the game very polished. Of course, there was bugs that people had, no doubt, but I didn't find it on a mass scale like sometimes you do find in Siege. To this day, I've yet to have any bug bar one that happened a few months ago, where I got stuck inside a doorway, but I managed to wiggle my way out. I think the maps are very nice and well designed and visually stunning, and I like how the UI and the operators look in the main menu. I have nothing wrong with the developers who made this. I think they made a great product and they should be proud with what they made. To the decision team over at Ubisoft who thought this would be a good idea in the first place, this was the expected outcome. Splitting your same player base between PvE and PvP across 2 different games doesn't make sense. When both games share the same operators, of course Extraction has less, which I'm fine with. They tweaked their gadgets and I thought it was really cool what they'd done with them. But the fact that Extraction uses the same guns that Siege has and the same operators, once again, why not just put it in Siege at that point? It was very clear that Ubisoft were searching to make a new Rainbow Six game which didn't impede Rainbow Six Siege. Why wouldn't they? Rainbow Six is their cash cow. Of course they are going to make more games about it. But Extraction just wasn't it. If you're going to give us a new Rainbow Six game, at least make it a bit more unique. Giving us an old Siege game mode with old Siege mechanics with old weapons and operators on a new game isn't going to fly. I genuinely just don't understand why they didn't take a page from Call of Duty's book when it came to this, by having your main menu and having your PvP mode, which is multiplayer, or in Siege it would just be the Siege mode, and then having your PvE mode, whereas Call of Duty that is zombies, and in Siege it could have been Extraction. I guess if you really wanted to, there could have been a campaign mode in Siege. However, I will argue I do think a Rainbow Six campaign game does warrant a standalone title, and it should not be reusing mechanics like what Extraction done with Siege. I would like to see a from the ground up, heck even from like a third person view, full in-depth campaign with a lore. And I guess maybe Rainbow Six Extraction would have been easier to believe as a standalone title if it wasn't reusing those mechanics. I know I keep saying this, but it does, you know, warrant the question, why not just put it in Siege at that point? But I could go on for hours just bashing Ubisoft about this because this is their fault at the end of the day. There is actually a community who does enjoy Rainbow Six Extraction, who now no longer have this game being updated anymore and are just going to have to move on to a different game. I'll still defend the game to this day and say gameplay wise it was fun, but I'm agreeing with all you guys when I say it should have been a Siege mode and this was the expected outcome. So I guess goodbye Rainbow Six Extraction. I enjoyed you unlike most people. I like what you brought to the table, but I just wish you were handled a bit differently. Let's hope with Ubisoft's new outlook on Siege and their goal to keep it going for at least another 10 years, that we don't end up with an issue like Rainbow Six Extraction in the future, where a really solid game mode that could come to the main game gets stuck as a full price game which dies after a year. Now they aren't completely abandoning it, they are saying that they're going to do bug fixes if something major does happen, but you know, hard to get excited and make content about that. And they are going to be cycling through the old events every few months as well, so if you haven't got to play them, they're still going to be cycling through and they will be changing occasionally as well. So there is going to be new events to play, even though they aren't really new and you've already played them in the past, they're just going through a cycle. They can still salvage a lot of stuff from this game though. A lot of the cosmetics are extremely solid and should 100% be ported over to the main version of the game. All the gadget skins are really cool as well. I actually made a really fun video about that, looking at all the gadget skins which are in Rainbow Six Extraction. And I guess even the maps that are in it as well could work really well as TDM maps, with each zone itself being a unique map. But I guess to conclude this video, Rainbow Six Extraction, I enjoy you whilst you were getting new content, and I enjoy you for what you were. I wish it was under better circumstances that this game existed, but unfortunately this is how it played out. So for probably the last time, this is probably my final Rainbow Six Extraction video for the foreseeable future. I had a blast with it whilst it lasted, and I love the game for what it is. And I love the community that it has built. So guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe if you're new, drop a like on this video. I'll catch you all later. I love you all. Peace.